hovering close to the edge of fire. Then the blast erupts in a roaring tide, pulling every signal back into the ride. Voltage recoil, tearing through the zone, ripping through the dark like a force cyclone, riding on the shock where the sparks are thrown, lost inside the surge where the charge has grown. Echoes fall thin in a glowing trace, drifting through the static of an empty space. But the current waits in a hidden core, ready to ignite and rise once more. Static coils deep in the fractured air, bass lines rumble with a coded snare, lead tones spiral in a tightened spin, pulling every signal to the core within. Hi-hats snap like a sharpened thread, patterns cross paths where the circuits spread, rise and climb slow in a crawling sweep, dragging every moment from the system's deep. Pulse divergence cutting through the haze, shifting all the waves in electric phase, riding on the force where the voltage plays, lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Whoa. Kick drum cracks in a rapid splice, rhythm surge loud like a mirrored slice, vocal shards drift in a filtered wave, folding into echoes that the shadows crave. Breakdown thins out like a cooling flame, silence holds tight in a suspended frame, then the lift bursts back in a sudden strike, pulling every fragment into perfect sync. Pulse divergence cutting through the haze, shifting all the waves in electric phase, riding on the force where the voltage plays, lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Oh, lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Oh. Waveforms bend in a flickered glow, fading slow into the undertow, but the pulse remains in a hidden line, waiting for the next loop to realign. unbroken climb, twisting every moment out of time. Hi-hat snap quick like a coated flare, pattern slice clean through the weighted air. Rise up pulling slow in a tense incline, holding every echo on a faulted line. Signal fracture cut in through the frame, splitting all the noise like a wild flame. Riding on the break of a warp domain, lost inside the drift where the waves unchain. Kick drum bursts in a jagged slam, rhythm shatter sharp like a metal can. Vocal shards shimmer in a drifting haze, falling into patterns where the circuits blaze. Breakdown sing slow like a drain machine, silence trembling thin in a ghost-like sheen. Then the burst ignites with a sharp recoil, dragging every signal back from the boil. Signal fracture cutting through the frame, splitting all the noise like a wild flame. Riding on the break of a warp domain, lost inside the drift where the waves unchain. Frequencies fade in a trailing spark, falling like dust through the hollow dark. But the signal hides in a silent seam, waiting for the surge to reawaken. Cling, 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 cling. Oh. Currents twist deep in the rising hum, bass lines rumble like a distant drum. Lead synth spirals in a rapid chain, pulling every thought into its domain. Hi-hats flicker like electric code, patterns shifting in a heavy load. The riser stretches tight like a sealed command, moments freeze in place as the pulses expand. Vector surge override, breaking the frame, cutting through distortion like a burning flame. Riding on the current of a fierce waveform, lost inside the drive where the circuits form. Kick bursts forward in a molten spark, rhythms ricochet through the glowing dark. Vocal shards echo in a fractured sweep, slicing through the static where the signals lead. Breakdown softens like a fading glow, silence curls around as the patterns slow. Then the lift ignites in a sudden blast, pulling every fragment back in a clash. Vector surge override, breaking the frame, cutting through distortion like a burning flame. Riding on the current of a fierce waveform, lost inside the drive where the circuits form. Echoes drift out in dissolving light, falling like embers through the quiet night. But the buried pulse keeps a hidden tone, waiting for the moment to rise alone.
Garage hums deep in a midnight glide. Bass crawls heavy from the system side. Lead lines shimmer in a loop entwine, pulling all the echoes into one design. Hi-hats flick like an electric rain. Rhythms punch sharp in a coated chain. Riser shifts slow in a rising thread. Tension creeping close as the moment spread. Night circuit burning through the haze, flaring up the dark in a neon blaze. Riding on the pulse of the shifting maze, lost inside the charge where the waveform plays. In a rapid burst, patterns crash loud in a tangled thirst. Vocal fragments cut in a filtered glide, drifting through the noise where the shadows hide. Breakdown melts soft like a dying spark. Silence holds thin in the breathing dark. Then the lift revives in a sudden climb, pulling every motion back into the time. Night circuit burning through the haze, flaring up the dark in a neon blaze. Riding on the pulse of the shifting maze, lost inside the charge where the waveform plays. Night circuit burning through the haze, flaring up the dark in a neon blaze. Riding on the pulse of the shifting maze, lost inside the charge where the waveform plays. Fade out in a whisper line, trailing through the void in a slanted shine. But the night still hums in a silent spin, waiting for the current to rise again. Flickers deep in a fractured arc, signal split sharp, cutting through the dark. Bass grows heavy in a sinking wave, dragging every thought to the path it paves. Hi-hats crackle like a thermal spark, pattern slice clean through the circuit's bark. Riser coils tight like a spark restrained, tension fills the room where the sound remains. Neon fall line breaking from below, shattering the pulse in a sudden glow. Riding on the clash as the patterns throw, lost inside the quake where the systems flow. Kick rolls pounding in a molten stride, drums collide fast like a crashing tide. Vocal shards drift in a process sweep, ripping through the void where the shadows creep. Down hums soft like a dying beam. Silence folds thin like an empty dream. Then the burst hits hard with a laser strike, dragging all the chaos back into the spike. Neon fall line breaking from below, shattering the pulse in a sudden glow.
trailing thin lines through the hollow dark. But the neon waits in a buried seam, ready to fracture through the next regime.
Echoes swarm tight in a mirrored spin, low end pressure dragging from within. Leads carve patterns in a looping glide, pulling all the motion to the deeper side. Hi-hat ticks slide like a splitting chain, rhythms cut sharp through the metal strain. RZA pulls taut in a rising hold, holding every breath in a grip ice cold. Pulse divergence tearing at the core, breaking through the static with a violent roar. Racing on the line where the shadows pour, lost inside the drift, wanting something more. Kick snaps hard like a loaded strike, drums fold quick in a shifting spike. Vocal grains scatter in a filtered sweep, tracing broken echoes where the signals leap. Breakdown dims, soft like a fading glow. Silence wraps tight as the patterns slow. Then the launch erupts with a sudden blast, dragging every moment back lightning fast. Pulse divergence tearing at the core, breaking through the static with a violent roar. Racing on the line where the shadows pour, lost inside the drift, wanting something more. Slow in a thinning stream, drifting like ghosts from a shattered dream. But the pulse remains in a quiet trace, ready to break free in another chase.
Static sparks drift in a crimson tone, low end pressure shakes the circuit bone. Sin waves ripple in a woven slide, pulling every fragment to the inner tide. Patterns loop tight in a mirrored spin, hi-hat slice then where the beats begin. Risers curl slow in a rising flare, tension drawing closer in the loaded air. Thrust returns in a climbing sweep, pulling every second from the circuits deep, 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 deep. Pulse overdrive blazing through the night, twisting every shadow into shards of light, running with the charge of a shifting stream, lost within the rhythm of a driving dream. Signals drift out in a bending glow, trailing through the dark in a steady flow. But the pulse still waits in the hidden line, ready for the surge when the beats align.